Welcome to the Making College Affordable podcast with me, Jason Fleury, certified financial planner professional and college planning specialist. I'm about to show you the inside secrets colleges don't want you to know and help you become a more educated consumer when it comes to paying for college. I believe you should enjoy the journey of allowing your kids to pursue their dreams without having to sacrifice yours. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do. So let's get started. Well, hello and welcome to episode number 3 of the Making College Affordable podcast. I'm Jason Fleury, and I am excited to share with you more of the game-changing experiences and expertise that I've learned over the past 20 plus years as a certified financial planner professional and college planning specialist. I have another exciting topic lined up for you today, and it's when filing for financial aid can actually hurt your chances to get the best awards from college. Now, everybody wants to get the most free money for college, right? Of course you do. And the advice that everybody receives from counselors and colleges, and even the college planners who host those college planning workshops at your high school, it's always the same. They say the key to accessing this big pile of free money is found in filing for financial aid. Well, sometimes that can be helpful, but there are actually times when filing for financial aid can hurt your chances for bigger awards at the colleges, and in those cases, you don't want to file anything with the colleges other than whatever's needed for admissions and scholarship consideration. Leave financial aid completely out of it. I'm going to show you how to maximize your results with this little-known strategy that we've used for years at some of the best colleges in the country. But I'll get to that in just a minute. Let me lay some groundwork first that'll help provide some perspective on why this strategy works so well. If you've never thought about it before, now's a good time to realize that colleges are businesses. They have two very expensive things that they sell. One's called class credits, and the other's called room and board. Since their marketing department has positioned them as a necessary step to our kids having a successful, happy life, demand far exceeds supply at most of the colleges pretty much every year. Well, that drives up the price, and it places added pressure on the kids to get accepted into this elite club called college. It burdens their families, too, because who doesn't want their kids to have the best possible chance for success? And if going to a good college is the best way to help jumpstart a rewarding future for their precious little children, how could anybody say no? Well, very few do. So even though they can't afford it, each year millions of families take on unbelievable financial challenges in the name of benefiting their children, and the colleges are all too happy to fuel the fires that support their lucrative business model without any regard for the damage that it does to those who are caught up in it. That sounds pretty bleak, right? Well, it is. Just look at the country's $1.5 trillion that's in student debt. It'll scare you to death, and it should. So now that you realize that colleges are businesses and that you're their customer, you owe it to yourself to become a more educated consumer. With any other kind of high-ticket item that you purchase, you do some research and you determine really what the fair price is for what you're getting. Well, fortunately, you can do this with college too. But very few people realize that the colleges regularly report their financial aid and scholarship history in a report that's called the Common Data Set. It's written for the Department of Education, so most normal people like us have a hard time sort of making sense of it. But no matter what your level of sophistication is, you can still usually find a table in there that shows you how much money each college awarded in any given year in the form of grants and scholarships and in other categories like loans and work-study positions and things like that. You can often find the percentage of students that received merit scholarships, and you can determine what the average award was that each student got. You can also see what the overall average was for students who filed for financial aid and what percentage of each family's need they met on average too. So why is all this helpful? Well, by understanding how generous each college is and how they award and recruit students, you can better position yourself for success with those schools too. You can also see where the tipping point is for many of these colleges with their pricing model. Now that gives you a huge advantage when researching what each college is likely going to cost for your family. Colleges, just like any other business, know the price point at which most people will still say yes, and they're smart to realize that they don't have to discount their price below that level very often. They figure, well, why give away free money when people will still come anyway and pay more? That's totally understandable, right? After all, if you were the college, you'd do the same thing to make as much money as possible. But what we're talking about here, though, is what you bring to them in the form of value. Colleges have proven over and over again that if you have something they want, they'll gladly pay for it. And if you know what the tendencies of the school are in the context of what an average award is for somebody in your shoes, well, you can better negotiate with them to get the maximum amount of money possible. All right, so you may be asking yourself at this point, what does all this have to do with getting more money by not filing financial aid? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because colleges are businesses, and because they know what their people are willing to pay, they have a good number in mind as to what they expect you to cover, regardless of your financial situation. If you share the details of your financial situation with them by filling out the financial aid forms, especially if your financial situation is good, you give them the discretion to determine if you can really afford to pay what they want versus what you actually want to pay. That's leverage you just don't want to give them if you're trying to negotiate a final price. The best leverage you can have is a strong student who meets the criteria that they're looking for as a valuable member of their community. Now, this usually involves having very high academics, but it can also include things like leadership experience, a history of community service, or relationships with alumnus. Some colleges have a very hard time attracting guys, so they have way more flexibility to offer money if they find somebody they have interest in pursuing. The same goes for schools who are predominantly male. They need more women in their programs, and they work hard to recruit candidates that would be good fits for their majors too. Other things can also be important. For instance, where you live can have an influence in how much money you get if you're willing to travel farther away from home to attend college than other people do. And of course, there are other factors that colleges want and need to create a balanced, diverse community that complements all their academics. Get to know what they are, and then reverse engineer your student to be the perfect prospect at some of the highest quality colleges on your list. Then, with the right amount of attractive leverage in place and several other merit scholarships on the table, you can approach these colleges to ask for more money, knowing that you have something that they want and have a hard time getting. Their pockets are deeper than yours, so ask them for more with confidence, and keep in mind what their average awards are for people in similar situations to yours. If you haven't filed for financial aid at that point, they're almost going to always ask you to go ahead and fill out their forms before discussing anything else with you. That's when you interrupt their flow by politely refusing their instructions. By then, you should have determined that you'll only qualify for loans by filling out the financial aid forms. You'll also have positioned your student well at other colleges so that you'll have competing offers on the table. That gives you a big advantage that others don't have when they're asking the college for more too. So now with these pieces in place, you can let the college know that you're only looking for additional merit scholarships instead of need-based grants and loans. Some colleges are going to still tell you there's nothing they can do without you filing financial aid forms, but most of them will distinguish a request for additional scholarships as separate from an appeal for financial aid, since the admissions department is the one that usually handles all the scholarships. When you find a situation like that, that's where you stand to gain the most by keeping your financial cards face down and negotiating exclusively based on merit. Now, some people get nervous at this point in the process, but just remember, the colleges already like your student at this point, so you don't have anything to lose by asking for more. Just be prepared to wait things out and let them know that if they're able to find anything else that'll help make them more affordable for your family, that you're really excited and ready to move forward with them. In other words, you want them to feel like if they can collect some of your money and still get the benefit of having your student as a part of their family, well, that would be way better than getting none of your money and having that student to go someplace else. If you have already shared your financial information with them and they feel you have plenty of money to pay what they typically get, which could be a very different feeling than what you have about your ability to pay for college, if they already know those numbers, your chances of getting more money from the college is almost zero. But if you keep the focus on merit and on desire and on competition, and you approach the conversation more like your student's agent and conduct yourself more like a business, then you're working to try to find a mutually beneficial decision for you and for the other party. Now, I have to let you know that obviously this approach won't work at every college in the country, but you'd be surprised at how many successful appeals we've had by taking this exact approach, especially at private universities where their prices and policies are usually a lot more flexible than some of the public state universities. In fact, we just got an $8,000 increase for one of our clients at a private university using this exact approach. And the best part about the student's award is it's renewable all 4 years that he's in college. So that $8,000 increase quickly became a $32,000 increase simply because we asked for it. Now, how would having an extra $32,000 in college savings feel to you right about now? I can tell you that when it's added to an award that was already pretty good, it feels great to get an increase like this. Remember that regardless of which approach you use to qualify for college aid, you want to get things down to a point where you feel comfortable that you're only paying your fair share of the college bill. This little-known strategy could be just the thing you need to gain that extra advantage that saves you thousands of dollars each year. Your counselor, the colleges, and most ordinary college planners will tell you that filing financial aid forms are mandatory and that you have to do it. But now you know better. Take charge of your college plan and learn how to make your moves like a true college planning specialist. That's the best way to beat the colleges at their own game and get the kind of results that you can be proud of for your family. I hope you've enjoyed and benefited from today's show. If you like what you've heard, please give us a good rating wherever you get your podcasts and share us with your friends. Also, if you have any specific questions or comments about anything we've covered today, email those questions to podcast@mycollegeplanners.com. You can also visit our website at mycollegeplanners.com to get personalized recommendations on how to make college more affordable and learn how working with a college planning specialist can improve your life. Thanks again for listening today. I look forward to seeing you again soon.